All right. Hey guys. It is a Friday night, October 22nd, 2021. Welcome back to Engineering Major, Philosophy Minor. The acronym for that is EMPM, and this is the channel where we get into a working, at least for now, aerospace engineers' opinions on topics pertaining to engineering, philosophy, politics, and various other social and cultural issues. So guys, in this video, I was actually going to make kind of a joke video, okay? And I'm going to explain what that is in a second. But the joke video that I was going to make was going to be in regards to the unfortunate passing of Colin Powell. So before I get into the topic of this video, I just want to say that we conservatives, us on the right, we're not dispassionate. It's important for us to honor people who have had struggles and have unfortunately given their lives. And to be honest, I don't know a whole lot about Colin Powell, but I just want to say in this video really fast that I have a lot of compassion for his family. I'm sorry this happened. He seems like he lived a relatively fulfilling and long life. It certainly would have been a lot more tragic had he been younger. Not to say that it's not tragic now, but I do want to give my condolences before I talk about this topic because I don't want to, just act like I'm making light of a situation. It's tragic when anyone dies. And, that even goes for, a lot of people like to criticize conservatives for their positions on things like the death penalty, for example. I mean, I'm very pro-death penalty. I think that there's certain thing that's worth making another video about, but just really quick, there are certain crimes that people commit in society that I think warrant showing an example of this is an act of lawlessness that society absolutely does not tolerate, and it is worthy of giving your life. But even in that case, conservatives still have compassion for those people. It's not something that we want to see happen, but at the same time, when you have the justice system and you have sentencing and you have punishment for, legitimate crimes, you have to follow through with that if you want to live in a just society. So guys, before I ramble too long, I was going to make a joke video, and the joke video that I was going to make is, of course, Colin Powell died from COVID complications. He had a wealth of other health issues. It's not like he was, perfectly healthy. He was older, first off. He had cancer, and he was also vaccinated. So according to, the current, health orthodoxy that we're all kind of living under and being subjugated under, he was doing everything right. And what I was going to kind of play at is this idea of, hey, when are we going to find the ignorant, science denying conspiracy theorist, far right, jackal that came and intentionally coughed on Colin Powell and got him sick? When are we going to find that guy, right? Because it seems like in our society right now, with the way people are talking about this, what we really need to be doing is anytime somebody gets COVID, we need to be going around finding the person who got them sick and punishing them, right? I mean, maybe that's a crime worthy of the death penalty, is, murder by COVID, as if people are intentionally going around trying to spread germs. And so I was going to make this joke video, and then literally the day after I was thinking about this, so I was going to record the joke video. I think it was like Wednesday night or something. I can't remember exactly. The day after that, I see this article come up right here. And this isn't a joke. A healthcare CEO who has the same cancer as Colin Powell blamed unvaccinated people for risking their lives, and by their lives it means the liberal health elites. Quote, "Somebody is killing us," unquote. And then I went down here Dr. Mark Harrison, the CEO of Intermountain Healthcare, so this is out here in Utah, it's supposed to be a conservative free state. The CEO, Mark Harrison, is the one who, this is the same one who blamed unvaccinated people for risking vulnerable people's lives. Guys, I just can't believe that I was going to make a joke about this, and then the actual world, the actual society around us that is so beholden to this idea that COVID is the worst possible thing that could ever happen to anybody, beat me to it with an actual serious article that's not a joke, right? It's making the contention that I would have had in the joke an actual accusation, as if what we're actually going to do, I mean, somebody is killing us, right? That implies intent, right? Somebody intentionally went to commit a crime. Now, that's called murder, right, in the court of law. And the fact that a doctor would say this, Dr. Mark Harrison, in a conservative state of Utah, it really gets to me. It's hard for me to not get extremely upset about this, because guys, this is exactly what we need to get away from in the culture, right? First off, let me just say to Dr. Mark Harrison, bud, if you have cancer, first off, you're a doctor, right? So you can make your own health assessment about whether or not you want the vaccine. Maybe you got it, maybe you didn't. It says right here, that Harrison himself said for people with these types of cancers, only about half of them respond to an mRNA vaccine. So are you questioning whether or not the vaccine works? I mean, how about this, Dr. Harrison? Why don't you stay home then? Why don't you take yourself out of society? Why don't you stop going out and about and acting like everyone around you is just trying to kill you? I mean, are you going to go? Is this how you really want to live your life? Is that you're going to go around and ask for everyone's papers that you come in contact? I bet it is. I bet when this guy has dinners, I bet he's abandoned a bunch of his friends who have said that they're not going to get tested and prove that they're vaccinated when they come over to his house for a friendly dinner. They're probably just like, well, I'm not doing that. You're welcome to come to my house, but are you comfortable with that? And then he probably said to them, no, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want you around me if I don't know for sure that you're vaccinated. And then furthermore, let's say that they did come over and then this guy Harrison got sick. Is he going to contact trace every single person and then have the cops go arrest the person who allegedly got him sick? See, there's no way to prove it, right? Because we as people, this is what I've been saying from the very beginning. Think about the number of interactions and the number of things that happen in your day-to-day life that could possibly expose you to germs. And think about the number of people that you interact with, not just directly, not just face-to-face, but the number of people you interact with by touching other objects. Now, I get people are going to come in the comments and be like, oh, well, as it turns out, it doesn't spread by touching. You mean to tell me that if somebody is sick with COVID and they rub their nose and they rub it on a door handle and then 2 minutes later you touch the same thing and then touch your own face, you're not going to get sick that way? I mean, guys, give me a break. There are too many interactions to possibly control. On top of that, from a moral level, how can you not just simply have compassion and sympathy for the family of this person who passed away, who was an important figure in politics and in U.S. foreign policy and in just as a symbol of a good citizen of our country? Why is the first thing that you go to, oh, well, it's the unvaccinated that are going around and murdering everyone? They're intentionally going out and trying to kill us. Guys, we have to get out of this cultural mentality, because this is the exact mentality, this idea that there's this evil group of people out there that are unclean and disgusting and, coughing around miasmal clouds of pestilence with the intent of hurting others. If you believe that, if you really believe that, there's not a single thing that you are unjustified in doing to that other person. If somebody's out there stalking and killing people, we should just give them the death penalty then, right? If someone's going around unvaccinated, well, they're risking it. They're purposely trying to get people sick. Why don't we just give them the death penalty then? Guys, we got to get away from this. And it's so frustrating to me that I was going to make a joke and then I got beaten to it by like the actual thing that I was making fun of. I mean, in the back of my mind, I knew that someone was going to come out and say this. And what hurts me more, maybe not hurts me, but what bugs me the most is that this guy is here in Intermountain Healthcare in Utah. According to the Salt Lake Tribune, this is who he talked to. Guys, we live in a conservative state in Utah, okay? We are not afraid to go to work. We are not afraid to hang out with our friends. We're not afraid of COVID. We're not afraid of, we're not afraid of death, right? We know that it's going to happen. We know that we take risks in life and we go out and we live our lives. And we don't need to be going around, we're not going around intentionally trying to harm or hurt others. We're just trying to live our life. And guess what? For the most part, we all just mind our own business and it works out. I guarantee you that if we were to be able to contact trace like perfectly, which is impossible, right? That's a utopian vision that we can just contact trace and figure out exactly who's murdering everyone else with COVID allegedly. I mean, that's the other thing. How can you say that there's intent? Anyway, I guarantee you that if we could contact trace perfectly, which we can't, but let's just pretend that we could, what you'd find is that a majority of the transmission happens within your own household from your own family members. Why do you say that, Alex? Well, because all I have to do is examine my own life, right? Do all the people I work with, do I like come home and then they get in the bed with me, not in a bad way, but just in a way that we just sleep next to each other for 8 hours? Are my coworkers coming over to my house and sharing my food and touching everything that I put in my mouth? Or all the objects in my house? No. Are the people that I cross randomly in the grocery store, right as I pass them, they're sick, and then they purposely turn over and just, they just go and try to spew my asthma on my face? No, right? All the things that are highest risk probably happen within your own family. The people who are around you constantly, the people you come home to, all right? Are you going to sentence them? Are you saying that they're killing you? So this is the whole point of the joke, Gosh, when are we going to find, and on top of that, Colin Powell is black, so it must have been a racist, bigot Trump supporter who, intentionally murdered him. First off, they intentionally didn't get the vax so that they could go out and get people sick, and then they intentionally got COVID so that they could go around and purposefully cough on somebody, and then they went and purposefully coughed on somebody. God, that's the worst, this is the worst kind of health insurrection ever in America. Get out of here with that stuff, okay? It's time to man up, and it's time to get back to work, stop being afraid of everybody else, and realize that you yourself can take precautions in your own life to mitigate this risk. And if you're not afraid of the risk, then you're not afraid of the risk. And if you get hurt and you get sick because you're not afraid of the risk, that's what happened. That's life. Have some compassion for people, have some understanding of people, have some sympathy for other people's decisions, and have some charity. And get off the friggin' high horse that I wore the mask all the time and I locked myself in my home and I didn't have to go to work because I make a lot of money and I'm a CEO. And, I can just be super clean and keep away from all these other filthy, disgusting people out there. And why can't they just live the same life that I live? Gosh, my life is I'm such a moral better. Gosh, when I think about the way that I live my life, I'm just so much better than other people. Yeah, get off your high horse, bro. welcome back to the real world, dude. Like we're not in space now. There's economic problems. There's these big supply chain shortages. And what are you going to complain about? First off, we're going to fire a bunch of workers, right? That's what Joe Biden wants to do. And then somebody who lives in a conservative state is going to go around and say that we're purposefully killing people. It's just disgusting, and it needs to stop. So that's why I wanted to make this video for you guys. And again, condolences to Colin Powell's family. Hear this from me. There was not a person who went around and intentionally tried to get, your husband, your father, your brother. I don't know a lot about Colin Powell. I don't know if he has siblings, but there wasn't an intent to hurt this person. Okay? Colin Powell is a man. He makes his own decisions about life. He deals with his own health problems. He assessed his own risk. A fluke happened. He was already compromised, and people, unfortunately, die. That is life. There is no utopia, okay? It's not dispassionate to recognize that. What is dispassionate is to pretend that there's some evildoer out there who we have to punish as a result of something happening that we didn't like. It's selfish, and it's dispassionate, and it's uncharitable. So thank you guys for watching. 16 minutes. That's all I got to say. I will catch you guys in the next one. In the next one, but leave a comment below and stuff like that if you want. But in the next one, we're actually going to talk about something that I think is, well, it titillates people's psyche a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about prawn. You guys know what I'm talking about. Later.